Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Hey, it's your brother here with the servant. This your brother Eli.
It's your boy, y'all.
Coming back at y'all with another Truth Revealing Tuesday, man. That's right. Another Truth Revealing Tuesday. Want to start off by giving all glory and praise to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Hope brothers and sisters is well through the Spirit, enduring in these last days that we do as we should, and striving to keep these commandments. So we're gonna do like you want to say something?
Con man. I just want to say, just keep, like brother saying, striving. Understand also that feast dedication is amongst us. Understand brothers need to be in that spirit and realize what our forefathers and foremothers went through right around this time years ago. And also that brothers and sisters be enduring these last days, because we are living the last days, and making sure that brothers put in his work, being diligent, being sincere, and help build a ministry. Right, and sisters are doing their things. If they married, being submissive, right, being a righteous woman, and so forth and so forth. And they not married, they still being, righteous and submissive to the Holy Spirit, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's facts. So man, we're gonna go and get into this, but we're gonna open up first, how we always do every week. Let me share my screen. We're gonna start off with the book of Psalms, chapter 85 and verse 11, man. Because we here to reveal the truth every Tuesday. We here to reveal this truth every Tuesday. So without further ado, let's crack it off with this. Psalms 85, verse number 11.
God, this book of Psalms, chapter 85 and verse number 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
So the Bible prophesies that truth shall spring forth out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yahweh Shai is the righteous, and he's the one looking down from heaven with his father Yahweh, and he's giving us the truth to spring it forth out of the earth. We are the ones revealing the truth. All the things that these people have hid from us, the lies, the deception, the name changing, all these things now are being revealed in truth to us, and the understanding of breaking down the prophecies, the future prophecies that got to be foretold, who the Israelites are, where the Israelites are. All these things are being prophesied and given to the Israelites in the last days. So, man, you know what I'm saying? The title again tonight is The Times of the Gentiles, a Statue and Four Diverse Beasts. Times of the Gentiles, a statue and four diverse beasts. So without further ado, we ain't gonna waste no time, because we got a lot to uncover. You know what I'm saying? And most high willing, through the spirit, we finna get it in. So we're gonna crack it off, right? So we want to kind of do a recap of last week and move on through the spirit and break down all these things, right? We want to do a quick recap just to regain the ground that we was at, just in case somebody who was on, just in case somebody was not on, so that you might catch up and get filled in. So we're gonna run through this. So what was the causes of the captivities that the Israelites went through? So the times of the Gentiles, what provoked the Most High to go and give the green light for the times of the Gentiles to start, and for the statue to be, you know what I'm saying, built up and brought to a dream of Nebuchadnezzar, and the vision of Daniel seeing the four beasts? What caused these things? Let's deal with it. Let's get the book of 2 Kings. We're gonna start at we're gonna do 2 Kings 21, and we're gonna start at verse number 1. And we're gonna kind of scan through this, King, so you ain't got to try to take your time and read. We're gonna kind of do some reading so we can go and get on point.
God, it's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 21, verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 50 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hezekiah. And he did which was evil in the sight of the Lord, after abominations of the heathen.
Right. So Manasseh was a wicked king who did perverse things towards our kingdom, just like the heathen did. Come on.
Whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed.
Come on.
And he reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Israel, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said, in Jerusalem will I put my name.
Come on.
And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the two courts of the house of the Lord.
Come on, verse
And he
6.
made his son pass through the fire and observed times and used enchantments and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger.
So Manasseh worked great wickedness in the sight of the Lord to the point to where he provoked the Lord to great anger. The Lord was furious and hot with the children of Judah for the king, with the kingdom of Judah for the sins that Manasseh was committing. He was committing the same sins that Ahab was committing in defiling the northern kingdom of Israel, that at this time period got them kicked out of the land of Israel and dwelling in Assyria as slaves. So now let's keep reading. Let's keep reading and see what he did.
And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his.
Hold on, Salaki.
Yeah, I was trying to. You was rearranging it.
Yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
y'all, man. Hey. All right. So where you stop at? Verse 7.
Verse 7. And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever.
Right, so he went far off to set a graven image in the place where the Most High chose to have his name, man, in the city of David, in the city of Zion. So now let's jump down for the sake of time. Watch this. Read, jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations of the Lord, whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel.
So the nations who the Lord destroyed before us was the Amorites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Canaanites, all of those nations who was doing the most wicked and abominable things that you read about when you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. These were the nations that was doing the most hideous and odious things that the Lord said he had to drive them out of the land. So now it said that Manasseh did the same thing, that he seduced the people to do more evils than those Canaanite nations was doing. Watch this. Come on.
God. It says, the king's idolatries rebuked. And the Lord spake by his servants, the prophets, saying, because Manasseh king of Judah have done these abominations and have done wickedly above all that the Amorites did, which were before him, and have made Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore, thus said the Lord God of Israel, behold, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whosoever heareth it, both his ears shall tingle.
Right. So he said the things I'm about to do to Israel and Judah, when you hear this thing, it's gonna make your ear tingle, because it's not gonna be a one-stop shop. The Lord said he has a whole plan set up for Israel, all because of the sins of Manasseh and the sins of Ahab. But let's keep going.
I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria and the plummets of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down.
Come on.
I'll forsake the remnant of mine inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies.
So stop right there, King. So pay attention to this. So we know that Nebuchadnezzar was the first king and Babylon was the first ones to enslave the southern kingdom. But pay attention to what he said. He said, and I will forsake the remnant of mine inheritance. And who was the remnant at that time? It was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And the Lord said he was going to deliver them into the hand of their enemies, not enemy, because if it was just Nebuchadnezzar, it would have been enemy. But he said they're enemies, letting you know it wasn't just going to be Nebuchadnezzar, right? And he said they were going to become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, meaning throughout generations of time, the Israelites were going to always be a prey amongst who? The strangers, the Gentiles. and they were going to seek to spoil and destroy the Israelites. Let's keep reading.
because they have done that which was evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger, since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day.
Come on.
Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, in doing that which was evil in the sight of the Lord.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. So now we're gonna read. Let's read. We're gonna jump over. I don't think I put this in there. I forgot, but I want to show what ended up happening to Manasseh. Let's read this. 2 Kings chapter 33. Let me see, Salaki. Here it is. Read this now. Jump to read verse 2 Chronicles 33. Hold on, Salaki. Where is it where I want it? Yep, verse 11, verse 10.
Verse 10. Manasseh's idolatry rebuked.
So
And the
this is how
Lord,
the Lord rebuked Manasseh's idolatry. Come on.
come, the Lord spake to Manasseh and to his people, but they would not hearken.
Come on.
Wherefore the Lord brought upon them the captains of the host of the king of Assyria.
Right. So the same kings that had the same Assyrians that had the northern kingdom in captivity at this time, the Lord brought them upon Manasseh and rebuked him for his wickedness. Right. Come on.
Which took Manasseh among the thorns, and bound him with feathers, and carried him to Babylon.
Right.
And when he was in affliction, he besought the Lord his God, and humbled himself greatly before the God of his fathers.
Right. So right here, when you see it says and carry him into Babylon, this is not talking about under the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, because at this time, King Nebuchadnezzar was not yet in power. King Nebuchadnezzar was not yet in power. So just keep that in mind. So now let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 15. We're going to read the book of Jeremiah chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 1 through 4. So what we're doing is we are showing why when you get to the book of Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, and all these other different varied scriptures, this is the reason why these things happen to us at a rapid rate, back to back to back to back, because the Lord was that angry with the children of Israel. And we're going to prove that. Come on, let's read this, King.
Jeremiah 15 verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?
Mm-hmm.
Then thou shalt say, tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
Uh-huh.
And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the
Come on.
sword to slay,
So the sword to slay, come on.
and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy.
Come on.
And I will cause them to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah, for that which he did in Jerusalem.
So now, when you think about this, when Nebuchadnezzar came upon the Israelites, Nebuchadnezzar didn't scatter us throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Nebuchadnezzar had us in subjection in his region. He kept the northern kingdom subject and slaves in that region, and he set up lower class Israelite class citizens in Jerusalem under a man by the name of Gedaliah. So now when you read this, the Lord wasn't just saying that this captivity was just going to be under Nebuchadnezzar, but because of the sins of Manasseh, he said he was going to have us removed into all kingdoms. So this started the vengeance of the Lord, what you read about even what Yahushua quoted, right? When you read Luke chapter 21, real quick, let's get this. And this is why when you read the title that we have on there, Times of the Gentiles. So read Luke 21, verse 24, King.
Luke 21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So from the time that Manasseh did what he did, and then next thing you know, as we're gonna keep reading, we're gonna read into how Babylon came into power. So from the time of King Nebuchadnezzar all the way up until the last time of Babylon the Great that we're in today, the Bible signifies and classifies this time period as the time of the Gentiles. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna keep going for the sake of time. Let's get the book of 2 Kings chapter 21 and verse 19. 2 Kings 21, and we're going to start at verse 19. Come on, Ken, you got it?
Yeah. The 2 Kings chapter 21, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
Ammon was 22 years old when he began to reign.
Right.
And he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haruz of Jotbah.
Come on.
And he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, as his father Manasseh did.
Right. So this time period was 642 BC. It was 642 BC. And the time that he began to reign and the time that Manasseh died was between 642 BC. So keep that in mind. Come on.
And he walked in all the way that his father walked in,
And the same
served the idols.
Yep. Nah, you good.
And served the idols that his father served and worshiped them.
Mm-hmm.
And he forsook the Lord God of his fathers and walked not in the way of the Lord.
You're going to read all the way to 24.
24 con. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him and slew the king in his own house.
Right. So they conspired against him because they were like, man, Ammon, wicked as hell, man. This man off. This man impregnating women, you know what I'm saying, and aborting them and sacrificing them. He's committing all these different evils. So they was like, yo, we got to get this man out of here. And he only reigned 2 years. So his reign was from 642 BC to 640 BC. If brothers and sisters is taking notes, make sure you write that down, because we're going to be tracking the timeline of everything that's happening, so you will be able to track. This was 642 years before our Lord and Savior came on the scene, right? So it was from 642 BC to 640 BC when Ammon reigned, right? Come on.
And the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against King Ammon. And the people of the land made Josiah his son king in his stead. Now the rest of the acts of Ammon, which he did, are not written in the book of Chronicles.
All right, so now I want you to stop at 24. Give me 2 Kings 23 and verse 25. So we're going through the chronological order of the kings. So after the sins of Manasseh, I'm showing you all the kings that reigned hereafter, and showing you after the sins of Manasseh, the decline of our king. So after Manasseh, we had one more good king to reign on the scene. And after this king, and even the righteousness that this king did, we're going to show that that couldn't stop the anger that the Lord had towards us for the sins of Manasseh and our participation with that. Come on.
Come on, you gotta go get a king.
Second. Oh, my bad, brother. I don't know why I thought I had it on the screen. Go ahead. 2 Kings 23 and then verse 25.
Come on, 2 Kings 23 and 25.
23 and 23.
23. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein this Passover was holden to the Lord in Jerusalem.
Right.
Moreover, the workers with familiar spirit.
Hold on. We skipping some. It's all good. 20 is it 22 and 25 that I wanted? Hold on, King. I want to show you who came in power after him. All right, there we go. 22 and 1, Salaki.
God, 22 and 1.
Yep.
Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign.
So keep this in mind. King Josiah began to reign in 640 BC. So all of these numbers is very important. King Josiah began to reign in 640 BC. Come on.
When he began to reign, he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jedidah, the daughter of Adiah of Bosca.
Come on.
And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and walked in all the way of David his father, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left.
All right, so Aliyah, I want to make sure we following along here. So 640 minus 31 is 609, right?
Yeah.
So making sure we're not tripping. So all right, keep that in mind. So it's important to know the years that he reigned in the year which he started to reign, so that once we get to certain things starting to shift, you will understand that these things was prophesied. So in these battles that we're going to go into tonight, they're going to line up concurrently with the time of the reign of these kings. So again, King Josiah's reign began in 640 of Salakia, 640 BC, right? And he reigned 31 years. So that means he would stop reigning in 609. So let's just keep that in mind. But now let's jump over to 2 Kings 23 now and then 25.
Con 23 and 25.
Yep.
And like unto him was there no king before him that turned to the Lord with all his heart and with all his soul and with all his might, according to the law, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any like him.
So there was no king like Josiah. Josiah proclaimed one of the most mightiest Passover feasts that we had in the land of Jerusalem, right? And well, he was the one that brought the remnants of the northern kingdom to be partakers of that Passover. And what he tried to do is he tried to rebuild the united kingdom of Israel, but he was unable because that's not what the Lord had in store for us. So just keep that in mind. These were different accounts of what Josiah did. So now we're going to jump down we're going to read 26 and 27.
Notwithstanding, the Lord turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal.
Right. So this is why we wanted to show you this. So Josiah was a righteous king, and there was no king like him in his era or during his time before or after. But with all that, the Lord said that did not turn his wrath that he had towards the children of Israel. Keep going. Read the next verse.
And the Lord said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel,
Mm-hmm.
and will cast off this city, Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there.
Come on.
Josiah succeeds, Joahaz succeeds Josiah. Now, the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are there not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
Come on.
In his
So to keep reading.
in his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Syria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him and slew him at Megiddo.
And he slew him at Megiddo. So now we're going to get into this, right? We're going to get into this. Let's read the book of Second Chronicles first, though. Let's get Second Chronicles 35 and verse number 20. So remember, I told you to keep in mind the time period and the dates. So King Josiah began his reign in 640 BC. He reigned 31 years. And on the final year of his reign, he was unalived by King Necho. So now we're going to read what's going on and see why this happened. So now, why read that, King? And as you see, the title says King Josiah gets unalive in battle. So let's read that.
God. After all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him.
Come on. So hold on. Let's read it in a different time. Let's read this in a different version real quick. All right. So read that. Read verse 20 again.
Con. After Josiah had finished restoring the temple, King Necho of Egypt led his army up from Egypt to do battle at Carchemish on the Euphrates River, and Josiah and his army marched out to fight him.
Come on.
But King Necho sent messengers to Josiah with this message: What do you want with me, King of Judah? I have no quarrel with you today. I am on my way to fight another nation, and God has told me to hurry. Do not interfere with God who is with me, or he will destroy you.
Come on.
But Josiah refused to listen to Necho, to whom God had indeed spoken, and he would not turn back. Instead, he disguised himself and led his army into battle on the plain of Megiddo. But the enemy archers hit King Josiah with their arrows and wounded him.
Come on,
But he cried out to his men, "Take me from the battle, for I am badly wounded."
come
So
on.
they so they lifted Josiah out of his chariot and placed him in another chariot. Then they brought him back to Jerusalem, where he died. He was buried there in the royal cemetery, and all Judah and Jerusalem mourned for him.
All right, so now the reason why that was important. So now let's go over here. You have the King Necho, who was a Hamite. He was an Egyptian Hamite. So we're going to read about the campaign that we spoke about. So remember, I told y'all that King Josiah began his reign in 640 BC, and he reigned 31 years. So let's show you the battle, what it was talking about, which led to King Josiah to get unalived. What led to him being unalived? What battle was King Necho headed to that caused King Josiah to get unalived?
Hey
Let's
King, real quick though, I did have some. If you wanted to, I have some information on King Necho. If you want to get that,
yeah, we can get that after this real quick. Read this.
con,
I want to show this real quick. Military, the first campaign.
con. The first, zoom in. I'm trying to zoom in. The first campaign in the spring of 609 BC, Necho personally led a sizable force to help the Assyrians at the head of a large army, consisting mainly of his mercenaries. Necho took the coast route via Maris into Syria, supported by his Mediterranean fleet along the shore, and proceeded through the low tracts of Philistia and Sharon at Megiddo. According to 2 Kings 23, he engaged the Judean king Josiah and had the Judean king killed and alive. An alternative version of 2 Chronicles 35 of the battle in Megiddo also exists.
Right. So this is showing you through history that this time period and this war existed during that time. So what it was of the Lord that King Josiah interfered in something that had nothing to do with him, which caused him to get put to death. And when he got put to death, he just so happened to got put to death during the Battle of Megiddo. And prior to the Battle of Megiddo, why was the Battle of Megiddo going on? Because the king of Egypt was trying to help assist the Assyrians who had just got took down and overthrown by the Babylonians and the Medes during 612 to 611 BC. So that's what led. This was the first campaign after the Neo-Assyrian Empire had got took down by the Babylonians by Nebuchadnezzar's father, Nabopolassar. So now, all right, I'm gonna let you do your thing. We'll come back. Go ahead.
I just want to show this real fast. Just get a little information on Necho. Let me get that. There we go. So it says this.
Zoom in.
You can see it.
Yeah, we can see you guys zoom in a little bit. That's good. That's good.
Okay. So here we go. I just want to just get this little thing. So this going into who Necho was for I didn't know. Right. So this is who Necho was. Since Necho the second was a significant pharaoh of the 26th dynasty of Egypt, ruling from 610 to 595 BC, known for his military campaigns, construction projects, and biblical references. Necho II, also known as Pharaoh Necho, was a ruler during the tumultuous period marked by the decline of the Assyrian Empire and the rise of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. So understand what it's telling you. It's telling what was going on during that time. The Assyrian Empire was at a decline during this time, and the Neo-Babylon Empire was rising at this time. But it says he was the son of Passive P1 and played a crucial role in the geopolitics of the ancient Near East, particularly in relation to the kingdom of Judah and the Assyrian Empire. Right, and I just want to read this last thing, and then I'm get it back to you, brother. It says Necho II is noted for his military endeavors, including attempts to assist the Assyrians against the
Yep,
Babylonians.
yep, yep. So hold on.
His most notable military engagement was at the Battle at Megiddo, where he confronted King Josiah of Judah. Despite Josiah's attempts to stop him, Necho defeated Josiah, leading to significant political changes in Judah.
Right, Salaki. Hold on before you go back there. Hold on before you finish that right there, because we got some more events to cover before we go back to that point. Because that battle you about to go into that you gonna touch on, I just want to show one more thing that took place during this time before you dig in that.
God,
I got you.
God.
It's getting sticky now. So hey, hope y'all paying attention, screenshotting and writing this stuff down, because this will help you understand the prophecies that the Lord said he was going to fulfill. So now let's get the book of Second Chronicles. We're gonna get the book of Second Chronicle. But first, let me show this real quick. So this is what led to what we reading about in the Battle of Megiddo, the Battle of Nineveh, which was the fall of Nineveh, and it conventionally dated between 613 and 611 BC, with 612 BC being the most supported date. It says after the Assyrian defeat at the Battle of Ashur, an allied army which combined the forces of the Medes and Babylonians besieged Nineveh. But we're not gonna read all that for the sake of time. I want to go back here, right? Because we got something for you, brother. My brother finna bring out some good stuff, man. So where we stop at Second Chronicles 35 and 20, where you know what I'm saying, Josiah got unalive because he hopped in the business with Necho trying to, during the Battle of Megiddo, helping the Assyrians trying to regain power, and he's trying to set his nets for where he can get put in power. So now we got another thing taking place. Let's jump to the next chapter, right? And we're going into the people mourning, you know what I'm saying, for Josiah, but now it's going to read and show you who came instead of Josiah. So read that for me, King. Second Chronicles 36 and 1.
Second Chronicles 36 and 1. Then the people of the land took Jehoaz, the son of Josiah, and made him king in his father's stead in Jerusalem. Jehoaz was 23 years old, and when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem.
Why did he reign 3 months in Jerusalem? Because during this time, in this time period, when he got set up by the people, when his father got unalive in Megiddo, King Necho didn't fully yet return. So let me show you why he only reigned for 3 months. Let's read the next verse, and then we're going to show what happened.
And the king of Egypt put him down at Jerusalem and condemned the land in 100 talents of silver and of talent of gold. And the king of Egypt made Eliakim, his brother, king over Judah in Jerusalem, and turned his name to Jehoiakim. And Necho took Jehoaz, his brother, and carried him to Egypt.
So Jehoaz got led away as a slave into Egypt, and his brother Eliakim got renamed to Jehoiakim, and he became the king over Egypt. So now let's see what caused this to happen. So now watch this. Let's go to the second campaign. Hold on. Nope. Let's read right here where it says Necho soon captured. So we still talking about the Pharaoh Necho. So watch this. Read that, King.
Necho soon captured Kadesh on the Orontes and moved forward, joining forces with Ashur Balit.
This was an Assyrian king. Ashur-Balit was an Assyrian king after Assyrian got took down trying to regain their troops and regain so they could try to get back into the fight. Come on.
And together they crossed the Euphrates and led siege to Haran.
The Battle of Haran took place during 609 BC, the same time in the same year that the Battle of Megiddo took place, in the same year that the King Josiah of Judah got unalived, right? From 640 to 609 BC was 31 years that King Josiah reigned. And in this same year, 2 wars took place. In one war, Josiah got unalived. And let's see what happened during the second war. Come on.
Although Necho became the first pharaoh to cross the Euphrates since Thutmose III, he failed to capture Haran and retreated back to northern Syria. At this point, Ashurbalot vanished from history, and the Assyrian Empire was conquered by the Babylonians.
Come on.
Leaving a sizable force behind, Necho returned to Egypt. On his return march, he found that the Judeans had selected Jehoaz to succeed his father Josiah.
So stop right there. So this is how you also know that our land is right here by Egypt. So when you leave in Syria to get back to Egypt, you have to pass through Jerusalem to get back to Egypt. So now on his way back from this war, he's passing back through our towns, and upon passing by our towns, he sees that Jehoaz has succeeded his father. So keep going.
Whom Necho disposed and replaced with Jehoiakim.
Come on.
He brought Jehoaz back to Egypt as his prisoner, where Jehoaz ended his days. 2 Kings 23, verse 31 through 34, 2 Chronicles 36, verse 1 through 4.
And we just read that 2 Chronicles 36, 1 through 4. So now read this real quick. The next one. Yep, the second campaign.
Second campaign. The Babylonian king was planning on reasserting his power in Syria in 609 BC. King Nabopolassar captured Kumaka, which cut off the Egyptian army, then based at Carchemish.
So King Nebuchadnezzar's father, Nabopolassar, he captured Kumka and he cut off the Egyptian army that was in Syria, and he based his military at Carchemish, right? Keep that in mind, in Carchemish. Come on.
Necho responded the following year by retaking Kamuk after the 4th month siege and executed the Babylonian garrison.
Come on.
Nabopolassar gathered another army, which camped in Kurimati on the Euphrates. However, Nabopolassar, poor health forced him to return to Babylon in 605 BC.
Why is that date important? When he returned to Babylon in 605 BC, why is that important? Because in 605 BC would begin the reign of his son Nebuchadnezzar II. But it's about to say that. Watch this. Come on.
In response, in 606 BC, the Egyptians attacked the leaderless Babylonians, probably then led by the crown prince Nebuchadnezzar, who fled their position.
Come on.
At this point, the aged Nabopolassar passed command of the army to his son Nebuchadnezzar II, who led them to a decisive victory over the Egyptians at Carchemish in 605 BC.
All right, so you can stop right there. So now we're going to go into the battle of Carchemish and show y'all what went down, right? And what the prophecies in the scriptures is talking about. So now keep in mind this, brothers and sisters. So now you done had King Manasseh come out and do pervertly, right? And King Manasseh reigned during he died in 642 BC. And after that, his son King Ammon came on the scene and did wickedly. He only reigned 2 years. He died in 640 BC. Then came King Josiah in 640 BC and reigned 31 years in Israel. And he was a great king and wasn't nobody better than him before or after him. So then following that, when he died in Megiddo by who? By the hands of Pharaoh Necho. In 609 at the Battle of Megiddo. Then 2 months after that, his son after him got what? Got kidnapped and got brought to Egypt. And then during 609 at the Battle of Haran, his other son Eliakim, which his name got changed to Jehoiakim, got set up by who? King Necho in 609 BC. So now during 609 BC, you had a war between Nabopolassar and King Necho, and Nabopolassar took over Carchemish. Then you had Pharaoh Necho take back control of it and push them back. And now you had Nebuchadnezzar's father. I'm tired of saying his name. Nebuchadnezzar's father ended up getting sick and having to go back to Babylon. And now you're reading about, or we're going into the motions of how Nebuchadnezzar came into power because it was prophesied that he was going to do so. So now let's read about Battle of Carchemish. You got it, King.
Kind. Was you gonna get Jeremiah 46?
Yep, exactly what I was gonna get. You can get it, but just get that one.
Nah,
Nah, go on get it because it's gonna fulfill the prophecy. You go and bring it out and just read 14 as well.
kind.
I ain't Kobe Rock. I ain't gonna ball hog. I'm LeBron. I'm gonna pass the rock out.
Kind. So as you can see here, right in the title, it says the feet of Pharaoh foretold, right? It says the word of the Lord which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho,
Mhm.
king of Egypt, which was by the river Euphrates in Carchemish, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Order ye the buckler and shield, and draw near to battle.
Mhm.
Harness the horses, and get up, ye horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets, furbish the spears, and put on the brigadines. Wherefore I have seen them dismayed and turned away back, and their mighty ones are beaten down and are fled apace, and look not back, for fear was round about, saith the Lord.
Mhm.
Let not the swift flee away, nor the mighty man escape. They shall stumble and fall toward the north by the river Euphrates. Right, so it's getting into the prophecy of what's going to go down. Right, he said jump to 14.
Yep.
Come on, verse 14. It says this: declare ye in
Verse
Egypt.
13.
13. Come. It says the word of that the Lord spake to Jeremiah the prophet, how Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, should come and smite the land of Egypt.
Come on.
Declare ye in Egypt, and publish in Migdol, and publish in North, and in Taphanes. Say ye, stand fast and prepare thee, for the sword shall devour round about thee.
So the sword shall devour round about thee. And last week we showed y'all who the sword, what the sword is. The sword is the wicked in the hand of the Lord that the Lord uses to set up and destroy nations. But real quick, get one more precept real quick. Get the book of Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse number 1. Jeremiah 25 and 1. So I want to show y'all something. And I'm going to show you when Jeremiah began to prophesy. And this how far the Lord is. Let's show you why Jeremiah was anointed to come on the scene and prophesy. So read that, King.
Prophecy of the captivity.
So this was the prophecy of the captivity. And watch this.
The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
This is the same time we talking about in 605 BC, right? Come on.
To which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, from the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah.
Stop right there.
Even
he said, from the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. Ammon was who was Ammon's father? Manasseh. Manasseh was Ammon's father. Manasseh was wicked. Ammon was wicked. Then came Josiah. So when you think about this, the Most High had Jeremiah prophesying since the wicked king Ammon was on the scene all the way up into Jehoiakim's 4th year in power, which was around 605 BC. But go ahead.
Even unto this day, that this is the 23rd year, the word of the Lord have come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened.
Jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and I will utterly destroy them and make them an astonishment and an hissing and a perpetual desolation.
Jump to verse 19.
Verse 19. Come. Verse 19. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and his people,
Come on.
and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azah, and Ekron, and the remnant of
So
Ashdod.
that's it on that. So you can
Con,
go
con,
into your
con,
thing. So just showing y'all that all this stuff was prophesied and was being prophesied for years. But you got it, bro.
con. That's right. That's right. And to add with that, again, I love just to say this. When you go into history, it always shows the validity of the Bible. Everything that you see going on in history, we're dating it back to what the Bible. We're cross-referencing history and the Bible together. It goes hand in hand. But just want to just say that history shows the validity of the Bible. So we going into the battle of Carchemish, right? So let's go to let's read right here. Let's read right here. It says the battle of Carchemish. You can see that, King. Do I need to zoom in?
You got to definitely zoom in.
Con. All right. How that is.
Yeah, that's better.
Con. The battle of Carchemish. Let me get him out. All right. The battle of Carchemish is one of the most important sites where Egypt fought in the era of the ancient Egyptians, which reflected the great competition for control over the Middle East region, where there was a great competition between Egypt and Babylon to control this area.
Mm-hmm.
This battle took place in the year 605 BC, where the Egyptian armies united with the remnants of the armies of the Assyrian Empire. So there still was some of the Assyrians left, and they united together, right? According when it was we just read about how they came when how they was going to help them, and now you got the Syrians helping the Egyptians, right? So it says this battle occurred after the defeat of the Assyrian army by the Babylonians. When they were defeated in this battle, the Assyrian commander decided to ask for help from the Egyptian army to fight the Babylonians. Okay, the Egyptian pharaoh Necho II fought the battle in which the Babylonian forces studied the Egyptian army from all sides, especially the mercenary elements, and they attacked the Egyptian army suddenly after crossing the Euphrates River, right? Tying into right again what the Bible prophecy said where it was going to happen, right? It says the geographical location and importance of the city. So now it's going to go to the geographical location and the importance of this city. This battle took place in the city of Carchemish, which is located on the Euphrates River and is considered one of the most strategic places in the region. So by them, this battle was an important battle because of the location, right? Because of the location. When it comes about war, location is everything. Okay. It says today it forms the border between Syria and Turkey. This region controlled the trade route between the Levant and the Anatolia. Right in the Levant region is the region where the Israel was one of the places where the Israelites dwell. Right in the Levant region. So this place kind of it controlled the trade routes. So when you got trade routes, what you can have an economic system, right? So you got to think about this is how you build a kingdom. This is how you build wealth by controlling such a city such as Carchemish, right? So it's very important to get this land. This city had many huge temples dedicated to some gods, such as the temple of the god Teshub, who was the god of the storm. The city was a major economic center as it contained a great wealth of minerals and wood, right? That's very important. This region at that time was under the rule of the Assyrians, and the Babylonians wanted to seize it to expand their empire due to its economic and cultural importance. So when you look at this and you think about how Nebuchadnezzar had such a vast empire, this played a part in his empire because of the trade route and because it had great wealth, minerals, and wood. Okay, so it says empire due to its economic and cultural importance. This battle changed the history of the rule of the Middle East region at that time, right? So it says conflicting alliances before the battle. So real quick, I want to because I want to get because this what we're about to go into is going to play a part to the later part of the lesson, right? But it says there were many empires in the ancient world, and all of them aimed to expand their empire, especially in places of historical and commercial economic value, including the city of Carchemish, which was considered one of the most important cities at that time, right? The Egyptian army allied with what was left of the Assyrian army after their defeat in the Battle of Babylon. The Babylonian army attacked them after uniting with the Medes, using the element of surprise. Now I'm gonna stop right there because I know you was going. So did you wanna? Because I know we was. Am I jumping ahead or nah?
Nah, go ahead, finish it off.
Con. All right, Con. Because now, just keep in mind what we're reading right here. Keep in mind what we're reading. That the Medes uniting with the Babylonians. Keep that in mind, right? So it says this led to the withdrawal of the Egyptian army, but the Babylonian army was not satisfied with that. They pursued all the Egyptians and eliminated them, so that not a single Egyptian man returned to his country. And that goes to also the precept, right? When we was going through the prophecy and the Lord was saying all these things that would happen to them, it's showing you what actually happened, right? The Babylonians eliminated them, right? It was a G-side.
Right.
Thus, the Babylonian Empire became one of the largest empires of that era.
Yep.
So that I want to just bring that out. I got another one just going on.
Now that's
going on too.
Yeah, that's it for them because we got plenty more. You know, time
on
our side. We got to get through this thing. So,
so
now we're gonna get to the Bible again and show what took place after this. So the Battle of Carchemish was during what time? It was during the time of 605 BC. 605 BC. Make sure you keep that in mind. So now we're gonna read 2 Kings 24. So now we're getting up to speed on what's going on. So now let's read this 2 Kings 24.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 24,
verse 1.
And verse number 1. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him.
So now, when is this? This is during 605 and 604 BC. This is after the Battle of Carchemish. Now, Babylon gains control. So now, after Babylon left from handling this war, now they went to dealing with who? The Israelites. So now, what he wanted to do was, because who set Jehoiakim up? King Necho. So obviously, and we don't got the time to show you, but this man was paying tribute and taxes to this man. So upon all these things and all these discoveries, now Babylon is coming to start terrorizing the Israelites now. Come on.
God. It said, and the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldees and bands of the Syrians and bands of the Moabites and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by his servants, the prophets.
Who was the prophets he spoke this by? Jeremiah. He spoke these things by Jeremiah and many other prophets, but chiefly Jeremiah, because these are the precepts that we showed y'all. So now let's keep going, though. We got some more.
Surely at the commandment of the Lord came this upon Judah.
Watch this.
To remove them.
Go ahead. Watch this. So read that verse again. So remember what we started with. We started with the sins of Manasseh, and then after Manasseh left the scene, his son Ammon came on the scene in 642 BC. And when he came on the scene, who else came on the scene? Jeremiah came on the scene in 642 BC. So come on.
Surely at the commandment of the Lord came this upon Judah.
Come on.
To remove them out of his sight for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did.
So remember, the Lord said, no matter how righteous Josiah was, he didn't care whether Samuel and Moses was upon us, he said that the southern kingdom was getting kicked out of Israel. So now, come on.
God. And it says this, and also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Lord would not
Come
pardon.
on.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
Come on.
So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, and Jehoiakim his son reigned in his stead.
Watch this.
And the king of Egypt came not again any more out of his land.
Right, because what the brother Aliyah just brought out, they got a whooping handed to them in the battle of Carchemish. So now they no longer came out of their land trying to interfere with the business, crossing over that river. They no longer crossed over that Red Sea no more, endeavoring in business that didn't belong to them. Come on.
For the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt.
And who was this king? This king was Necho. So now we done with that. So now let's go to the book of Daniel. So now we're going to get to the statue and we're going to get to the four beasts. So let's go to the book of Daniel chapter 2 and we're going to read verse 31. And we're going to read through this a little bit, King, so we can get caught up, so we can have everything on deck.
Okay. The book of Daniel chapter 2 verse 31.
Come on.
Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image was brightness, was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Come on.
This image's head was of fine gold, his breast, his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
All right, so now let's jump to verse 36 to talk about the dream. Come on.
God, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory.
Just like Jeremiah prophesied. Come on.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given into thine hand, and he have made thee ruler over them all.
Right. So,
thou art.
Oh, go ahead. Read that again.
Okay. Thou art his head of gold.
Thou art this head of gold. So Nebuchadnezzar was the head of the statue that he had a dream about. So now let's get the book of Daniel chapter 7, and we're going to start at the top. So read that, Daniel chapter 7.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the first year.
So like, I just want to increase that. We good. Come on.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream in visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
So when you think about the great seas, the word sea in the Bible can also go into rulership, it can go into waters, and it can also go into the heavens. Because when you think about the heavens that's above us, when you read the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1, it tells you that Yahushua is going to come through the sea with his host of angels and his chariots. And when you read the book of Revelation 13:1, it's letting you know that Esau and that dragon is going to come out of the sea. And now when you read about here, it's telling you in Daniel 7:2 that Daniel saw four winds of the heaven and they strove upon the great sea. So that sea is reference to the kingdoms, right? Or heaven, right? So now when you think about this great sea right here, he's talking about great kingdoms. And these great kingdoms is talking about the times of the Gentiles. So come on.
And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from another.
Diverse one from another.
Diverse one from another.
Come on.
The first was like a lion.
Stop right there. First, stop right there. So it said the first was like a lion. Let's see. We know the first is talking about Nebuchadnezzar. Let's see why I label him as a lion. Read this, Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse number 7.
Jeremiah 4:7. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way.
Come on.
He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant.
Come on.
For this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us.
Right. So now this is Jeremiah briefly letting us know. Come on, read verse 6 to show you the point, to prove it.
Verse 6, the point. Set up the standard toward Zion. Retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north in a great
So
destruction.
who was at the north of Israel at this time? It was Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar. So Nebuchadnezzar was this lion that Jeremiah and Daniel saw in this vision that prophesied about. So now read that verse again, Daniel 7 and 4.
God, Daniel 7:4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings.
And it said he had eagle's wings. Come on.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet, as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
All right, so let's get the sense on that real quick for the sake of time. Let's get the book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, and we're going to read verse number 9. Come on.
Jeremiah 25:9. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them astonishment, and in hissing, and perpetual desolation.
So this is verified with Jeremiah saw, and he brought out in the book of Jeremiah chapter 4. So now let's go into the eagle. So now he also brought up comparisons to an eagle with wings, right? So let's read this, Ezekiel chapter 17, and let's start at verse 2.
Verse 2. Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. And say, thus said the Lord God, a great eagle with great wings, long wing, full of feathers, which had diverse colors, came unto Lebanon and took the highest branch of the cedar.
Who is he? Who did he come and take? He came and took Jehoiakim, right? Come on.
He cropped off the top of his young twigs and carried it into the land of traffic.
He carried it into the land of Babylon and made the king's children slaves and the royal young men in Israel slaves. Come on.
He set it in a city of merchants.
Come on.
He took also the seed of the land and planted it in a fruitful field.
And what field was that in Babylon? Come on.
He placed it by great waters and set it as a willow tree.
All right. Hold on. Watch
this.
Come on.
And it grew and became a spreading vine of low stature.
So now he said that this same thing, this tree, but grew and became and spread it a vine of low stature because we lost our value. Watch this.
Whose branches turned toward him, and the roots thereof were under him. So it became a vine and brought forth branches and shot forth sprigs.
Now jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Say thou, thus saith the Lord God, shall it prosper? Shall he not pull up the roots thereof and cut off the fruit thereof, that it wither? It shall wither in all the leaves of her spring, even without great power or many people to pluck it up by the roots thereof.
Signifying that Nebuchadnezzar was going to destroy us and scatter us throughout the four corners of the earth. So now let's go back. Remember, it said he was going to have a man's heart, right? So now let's get this real quick in Daniel chapter 4 and verse number 16. I just want you to read verse 16, and then I want you to read jump down to verse 34. So read that.
Verse 16, let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him.
All right, so now we're going to jump down to verse 34, showing that being fulfilled. Come on.
34. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and my understanding returned unto me.
For Salakia. Verse 31. My bad.
Verse 31.
Yep.
While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee.
Come on.
And they shall drive thee from man, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field.
Come on.
They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will.
Come on.
The same hour, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar,
Mm-hmm.
and he was driven from men and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws.
Right. So now when you go back to that in Daniel chapter 7, verse 4, where it said the wings thereof were plucked, this is talking about King Nebuchadnezzar. So now I hope brothers and sisters understand that. So now let's read the next one, verse 39.
Verse 39. And after thee shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third
All
kingdom
right,
of brass.
that's it on that. So now let's read Daniel 7 and 5. So now Daniel 7 and 5 and Daniel 2, where we just read it, and Daniel 7 and 5 is talking about the same people. Let's see what it's talking about now. Come on.
God, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
Right. So it said it told it devise and devour much flesh. So the power that it's referring to, right? The power, it was Babylon, the power of Babylon. It was going to be the power of the Persia and the power of the Medes. And it was going to be three countries that they were going to take over and set provinces over in that land. But we finna get into that shortly. So first, we want to show. Let me see how you want to do it. How you want to do it? You want me to go through the precepts first, and then you show what happened?
Yeah, get the precept. God, get the
All
precept.
right. So now let me get Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. Read that real quick. So now we're showing you another vision that Daniel had concerning the Persian and the Medes. Come on.
God, Daniel 8 and 1. In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the
Come
first.
on.
And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which was in the province of
Which
Elam.
was in the province of Elam, right? Come on. The Elam is the province of the Persians, the East Indians of the world today. Come on.
God, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river Ulai.
Come on.
Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two
So
horns.
remember what I told you, the sea, water is always being referenced in the Bible to nations and kingdoms, and the sea to powers and governments. So now he said he saw standing by the river a ram which had two horns. Come on.
And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up
So
last.
now keep that in mind, because the brother got a gift for you. So he had two horns. One was higher than the other one, but the one at the last ended up coming up. The higher one at the last came forth, right? Which dominated the longest and took over. So now we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, show you that. We're gonna go into this real quick. Let me jump down to Daniel 8 and verse 20. Read that.
God,
We can
Daniel 8
find out
and
what the
20.
horns is. Watch this.
The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
So now, if you wanted to know, I thought we always say Persian and Mede, but now when it's going into the order of these horns, it told you the first horn was higher, but the second horn will be higher at the last. So this is why it had Media and it had Persia, because Persia was already ruling first because they were allies to Babylon when they took down Nineveh. The battle at Nineveh, Babylon and the Medes were allies. So what happened? Are they playing both sides here? How did it turn to Media and Persia now? We're going to get to that. So now, and I want to let it be known that all of this now is going to take place during 539 BC. So let's get the prophecies about the man who these things are supposed to happen through. So I hope we're not going through fast for the sake of time, but we got a lot to uncover, and we want to show how these wars and this history add up to the Bible, and we also have to lead this thing on up to the Greeks, to the Greek freaks, so we can set ourselves up and our brothers and sisters up for dedication. But come on.
Khan, the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee, Thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou shalt not be forgotten of
So
me.
the Most High wanted to make sure that he let the Israelites know that, oh, y'all are my servants. I formed you. I created you. You know what I'm saying? And I have not forgotten you. Watch this.
I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins return unto me, for I have redeemed thee.
Right. So now we're going to jump down. So now watch this. Read verse 26.
Verse 26. That confirmeth the word of his servant.
His servant, Jeremiah was his servant. Isaiah was his servant that prophesied about this man that we're about to read about in the reign and the fall of Babylon. Come on.
And performeth the counsel of his messengers, that said to Jerusalem, Thou shalt be inhabited. Into the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof.
Right, come on.
That said to the deep, Be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers.
And I will dry up the rivers. And another thing for that, I will dry up the kingdoms. These certain kingdoms, I will dry them up, dehydrate them, and have them fall over and die. But come on.
That said Osiris, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, that thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid.
So wait a second, let me see something real quick. Let me see, can I find? So when you read this right here, right, you can see that, King.
Come on.
The prophet Isaiah, whose name is Yahweh is salvation, this man reigned between, he lived and prophesied between 739 and 685 BC. So this man, Cyrus, wasn't nowhere on the scene when Isaiah prophesied this. This is almost over 100, close to 200 years before Cyrus. Matter of fact, it is 200 years. He started prophesying in 739. Cyrus took over Babylon, took down Babylon in 539. Bro, this was 200 years before this man Cyrus even came on the scene. So now, watch this. Let's go back. So now read, you saw, you finished that off, right? All right, so now we're going to jump over to the next one real quick. I want you to read verse 1 through 4. You can kind of skim through it. Just read it right so we can get through.
God used Cyrus. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
Come on.
I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight.
Come on.
I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in asunder the bars of iron. I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches.
Babylon, of all these wicked kingdoms, he's telling Cyrus that he's going to give him these resources. Come on.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel.
So the Lord gave Isaiah the name of Cyrus so that he can know that it was the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. They allowed this thing to take place, man. Come on.
For Jacob, my servant's sake.
This is why the Lord did that. This is why the Most High anointed Cyrus to be set up as king and to have him subdue nations and loose the loins of kings for Jacob, his servant's sake. This didn't have nothing to do with the Lord loving Cyrus or none of that. Cyrus was an anointed, chosen vessel to destroy these nations to do what? For Jacob's sake, so we can return and rededicate and rebuild our temple. But keep going.
In Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
All right, let's jump to verse 12 real quick. Come on.
Verse 12. I have made the earth and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded.
Come on.
I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city.
He shall build my city, or he will give the green light for my city to be built. Come on.
And he shall let go my captives, not for price nor reward, said the Lord of hosts.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabaeans, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. they shall come after thee in chains. They shall come
Because he
over,
was going to
and they
defeat
shall
them in
fall
war.
down.
Come on.
They shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God.
Right. So now we're gonna read one more verse, and then we're gonna go into what he's about to go into to show you how the media end up being allies with the Persians now. So let's read this verse real quick. Second Chronicles chapter 36, and I want to read 19 and 20.
God. And they burnt the house of God and break down the wall of Jerusalem
Uh-huh.
and burnt all the palaces thereof with fire and destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof.
Come on.
And them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia.
So until the reign of the kingdom of Persia, read the next one.
To fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 25, Jeremiah 46, Jeremiah 37, Jeremiah 25, Jeremiah 1, Jeremiah 28. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah's whole mission on the scene. Come on.
Until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths, for as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath, to fulfill 70 years.
70 years. So now, King, I leave it to you because now you're going to go into how Cyrus got brought into power, and then I'll pick back up after that. Go ahead. You got it.
Khan. All praise the Most High. Khan. Let's go to it. All right. Let's go to it right quick.
So while he pulling that up, you got to understand why prophecy and history and learning who your forefathers are very important, because without these things, bro, we wouldn't be able to identify none of this stuff. And we'll be just like the rest of the jokers in the world. We'll be sitting here thinking like the Bible don't exist. The Bible is not real. Tonight, we are showing you through history, artifacts, records, scriptures, that the Holy Bible is the records of our forefathers. This is now we're about to go into how King Cyrus ended up going to war with the Medes. And I'll go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
Khan. So we gonna like the brother said, we gonna get into this thing.
So like you hit that
So
X on that sorry interrupt thing, man. Hit that X.
Oh.
They stay trying to get some money.
Right? Trying to tell you. So now we gonna go into this, right? Now this is gonna be before Cyrus come into play, but first we getting the backdrop first. The backdrop. So let's go to this. And I'm gonna read briefly through this because we kind of touched on it briefly. But it says this: in October of November 1615 BC, the Medes under King Xerxes invaded Assyria and conquered the region around the city of Arapha in the preparation for a great final campaign against the Assyrians. That same year, they defeated Es at the Battle of Tarabisu, and in 614 BC, they conquered Assur, plundering the city and unaliving many of its inhabitants. Nabopolassar only arrived at Assur after the plunder had already begun and met with Xerxes, aligned with him, signing an anti-Assyrian pact, and Nebuchadnezzar, son of Nabopolassar, married a Median princess. So you kind of see, before we get into it, they had some ties. The Medes, not the Persian, but the Medes had ties with Babylon. Okay. Shortly after Es made his last attempt at a counterattack, rushing to rescue the besieged city of Rahalu, but Nabopolassar's army had retreated before the battle could take place. In 612, the Medes and Babylonians joined their first forces to besiege Nineveh. We talked about that, so we're gonna jump down, and we're gonna go to we good on that. I just want to kind of get a backdrop. So now we're finna go into the actual nitty gritty, right? So we understand that at one point in time, the Medes they was aligned with the Babylonians. So let's go to where it get into play, right? Share this tab. This you can see this. I need to
Can you look good?
Khan. So the Achaemenid Persian Empire, which ultimately ruled over 23 nations spread across approximately 3 million square miles, stretching from North Africa to Indus Valley, was based on law and order according to the Herodotus. Even the kings were not allowed to put a man to death for an offense. An ideal Persian leader had to be intelligent, decisive, just, and guarantor of civil order. Cyrus II the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Persian Empire. So he was the founder, and this is at 559 559 to 530 BC. Again, back to what the brother's point is, when Isaiah even talked about this, brought this up, that was over 200 years ago, right? That it was prophesied that this was going to be going down, right? So it says, set the tone for its imperial grand strategy. Tolerance, law, and order were how the Persians were to conquer and rule the known world. Disruption of order by rebellions and lawlessness were challenges met by the Achaemenid kings through a well-trained, organized army and centralized bureaucracy. Cyrus ascended the throne of Persia in 559 BC, and his predecessors recognized the overlordship of the neighboring Iranian Medes. So now we're getting into why they having some conflict. They're having some issues. So they were saying it was overlordship, right? And they're like, okay, it's a problem. During the first decade of his reign, Cyrus was interested in consolidating his authority over the Persian Confederation in the sizable Median Empire, right? In 550 BC, with the support from many in the Median army and nobility, he defeated his unpopular grandfather, the Median king Astyages. So right here, when you go into back to Daniel chapter 8, and you seeing it, it says the first, right? The one was Lord, one horn was higher than the other. It came up at the last, right? The one that came first was the Median, right? Because Median, what they had their thing going on with the Babylonians. They had some land that was conquered, and that's when you read the part where it says it said the sizable Median. So they had a very great army. Bear with me. I don't know what spot is doing this, but they had a sizable army. There we go. Salakia thing was tripping, but yeah, they had a sizable army, right? They had a great vast army. So let's keep going. So it says this: and captured their capital Ecbatana. During the second decade of his reign, Cyrus consolidated all of Iran, as well as eastern lands such as Marv and Samarkand. In 545. The fall of the powerful and wealthy Lydia to Cyrus sent a shockwave across the ancient world. Cyrus then turned his attention to Babylon. So boom, before he even did this, he had to go and he had to consolidate and create a whole Persian empire within itself, right? So let's go here, right? And on October 10th, 539, Cyrus attacked and defeated the Babylonian army stationed at Opis on the Tigris. So this happened around the region of the Tigris River, right? Susa fell next. Sapar was taken without a fight. Babylon was captured on October 12th. So it took them 2 days. 2 days, right? And 10 days later, Cyrus entered the city. According to Cyrus' declaration, known as the Cyrus Cylinder,
Stop right there. Stop
right?
right there. Stop right there. Hold on. Stop right there. So we ain't got there yet. So now, since you already sharing the screen, King, I want you to read the book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 28. And you're going to read all the way to Daniel, chapter 6, verse 1. So now we're going to show in scripture what the brother just read. So now, and this was this during the actual life of King Nebuchadnezzar or somebody else? We're going to find out. We went through this last week, but we're gonna run it back again. Daniel chapter 5, verse 28.
God, Daniel chapter 5, verse 28. Perez, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the
And
Persians.
it's saying Medes and the Persians again because it's establishing the Medes first and the Persians then, right? Come on.
Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom.
Come on.
In that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain.
Who was he slain by? Right? And he said he was slain by the Medians and the Persians under who? Over who was the big dog over this hit, though? It was Cyrus. Cyrus was the one that took us down. That's why Aliyah said it only took 2 days, right? So within that war starting to happen, it took 2 days. And then what happened? It said in the same night, Belshazzar got unalive. And read the next verse.
And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old.
So this man Darius took the kingdom. So now go to the next verse.
Come. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom.
Right. So now this Darius, and when was this? This was 539 BC. So this was 539 BC. So real quick, let's get the book of Second Chronicles now, chapter 36 and verse 20 again. I'm gonna give it back to you. I just gotta set the stage now. So now we showing how prophecy being fulfilled.
You said 2 Chronicles 36.
And verse 20 again, I want you to read all the way to verse 23.
I got you, King. And them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia.
Until the reign of the kingdom of Persia, what we just read about that happened in 539 BC, that took 2 days. Come on.
To fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths. For as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbath to fulfill 70 years.
Come on.
Cyrus permits return. Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it also in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth have the Lord God of heaven given me.
So he's talking about all the kingdoms that's on this side of the world that we call the so-called Middle East. He took over Babylon. He had the Persian and Medes. He took over Lydia. He took over Babylon. He took over Egypt, right? Over all these regions. Now he got access to the Assyrian captivity, the land of the Assyrians, because now everything that Babylon had, now he took it. Come on.
God, and he have charged me to build him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who is there among you of all his people. The Lord his God be with him, and let him go up.
All right, so now I got 2 more precepts, and I'm gonna let you go back to what you about to read about the cylinder. Give me the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1, real quick. We're gonna read the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1. So watch what Daniel peeped through the spirit after this. Watch this.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 1. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem.
Right. So now, when you now let's get the book of Ezra, chapter 1, verse 1. So now Ezra 1 and 1 gonna set you up to read the cylinder. So now when Daniel seen what just took place, he then was able to understand by the books or the scrolls of Jeremiah how it had to be 70 years, and then Babylon was gonna get took down, and then the Media and the Persian Empire was gonna start, or the Persian and the Medes. And now from this, Cyrus, through the prophecy of Isaiah, fulfilled what we're about to go through and read now. Come on.
Khan, Cyrus proclamation. Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled.
Uh-huh.
The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven have given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and have charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
All right. So now keep reading. Where you stop at?
Verse 4.
Come on.
Whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver, and with gold,
Right.
and with goods, and with beasts, beside the free will offering for the house of God
All
that
right.
is in Jerusalem.
All right. So now jump to chapter 2, verse 1, real quick.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Now, these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away unto Babylon, and came again unto Jerusalem, and Judah, every one unto his city.
Come on.
Which came with Zerubbabel,
Zerubbabel, who
Jeshua,
came from the Zerubbabel, who came from the royal bloodline of Judah. Come on.
Jeshua,
who was the high priest at the time. Come on.
Nehemiah,
Nehemiah was a scribe in Ezra at the time. Come on.
Sariah,
Come on.
Relaiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispar, Bigvay, Rehum, Baanah, the number of the men of the people of Israel.
The number of the men of the people of Israel. So now, real quick, I want to show you something else. And hold on. Some of the chief when they came to jump to verse 68 real quick. I want to show you something. A lot of people might not know something here. Watch this.
Verse 68.
Uh-huh.
And some of the chief of the fathers, when they came to the house of the Lord, which is at Jerusalem, offered freely for the house of God to set it up in his place.
To set it up in his place. Come on.
They gave after their ability unto the treasure of the work 61,000 drams of gold.
Come on.
And 5,000 pounds of silver, and 100 priest garments.
Come on.
So the priests and the Levites and some of the people and the singers and the porters and the Nethinims dwelt in their cities, and all Israel in their cities.
Come on, read 1 and 2 real fast. Come on.
1 and 2.
Yep, verse 1 and 2. I want to make up to show you something. So now I want you to think about this key person real quick. Right? Read this.
1 and 2 says, now these are the children.
Chapter 3. We in the next. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, read this.
And when the 7th month was come,
what's the title say? Altar and sacrifices restored. Watch this. Come on.
And when the 7th month was come, the children of Israel were in the cities. The people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem.
Come on.
Then stood up Jeshua,
the high priest,
the son of Jozadak, and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel,
Salatiel,
and his brethren, and builded the altar of God of Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon, as is written in the law of Moses, the man of God.
All right, so now I want to show you something. Give me the book of Ezekiel, chapter 43 and verse 7. So now I wanted to let's talk about the prophet Ezekiel. Ezekiel was from the time of 592 and 570 BC. So he was around the time of these ancient men when they were on the scene. So now let's show you the visions that the Most High gave Ezekiel and why they were so important. Real quick, Ezekiel 43 and 7.
Come with 43 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne, in the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. In my holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses or their kings in their high places.
Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. Thou son of man, show the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities.
Right, watch this.
And let them measure the pattern.
And let them do what?
And let them measure the pattern.
So during the time when Ezekiel was on the scene, what did the Most High tell Ezekiel to do to the senior men and the leaders in Israel that was dwelling in Babylon? To measure the pattern of what? What he was seeing in the temple. Now, watch this. Let's jump over to verse 11. Read verse 11.
God. And if they be ashamed of all that they have done, show them the form of the house.
Show them the what?
The form of the house.
So Jeshua, Zerubbabel, all these brothers was ashamed of the things that they seen, and they were the ones that seen the house. Come on.
And the fashion thereof, and the goings out thereof, and the comings in thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the laws thereof, and right in their sight, that they may keep the whole form thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and do them.
And do them. So add this to your arsenal, whoever reading and watching along. This is where they got it from, to measure the pattern, right? To show them the blueprint on how to rebuild the temple, because the Lord was preparing them for that. So now that's all I had on this. So you read Ezra 1 and 1. So now you can do Cyrus cylinder.
Come. So let's go back to that. Right there. All right. Let me see. Let me make this a little bit. Well, I can read it. Okay, there we go. So it says, according to Cyrus' declaration, known as the Cyrus cylinder, according to the prophecy that we was talking about, he said, well, hey, you know, it was going to be in writing. This is the thing that it was, but that's in the writing. This is the writing. It says, the world's first known bill of human civil rights. The people held in captivity by Babylonian kings were set free to return to their native lands under this decree. The Jews, right, the Israelites, also returned to their homeland and rebuilt their temple. Unfortunately, soon after, his beloved wife, Cassadine, unalive, and Cyrus left for Persia to bury his queen. Right, so this is a visual of the Cyrus cylinder right here. This is a visual of the Cyrus cylinder. We talked about it last week, but this is another visual just to see, because some of y'all might not have seen it. Y'all might have been on this thing, right? But this is the Cyrus cylinder right here, and this was the thing that held the writing, telling the people to return to the land, and also authorizing the rebuilding of the temple to the Israelites, pursuant to Ezra chapter 1 on down, right? So let's keep going. So it says this: it is unclear what his military activities consisted of during the final stages of his reign, but he apparently conducted at least one great march to the eastern frontier. He was mortally wounded in 530 during his campaign against the Iranian nomadic Massagetes tried, his eldest son Cambius II succeeded him.
Stop right there.
Cyrus.
Stop right there. So now it said Cambyses the second was his son, was the one that succeeded him. So under the reign of Cambyses the second, he was the king of Persia at that time, who under his rulership, the building of the temple stopped. Real quick, can you get the book of Ezra, chapter 4 and verse number 6, real quick.
Ezra 4 and 6, I got you.
Matter of fact, start at verse 5. Ezra 4 and 5 and read all the way to 6.
Ezra 4 and 5. The book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And he hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem.
So stop right there. Jump to verse 24.
Verse 24. And it reads, Then ceased the work of the house of God, which is at Jerusalem, so it ceased until the second year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
So now it said it didn't start back to Darius, the king of Persia. Who is that Darius? That is Darius the Great, right? Darius the First or Darius the Great. So now we're going to show in history again, and then I'm going to let you take it all the way out through the Greeks, right? I want to show you real quick. Give me the book of Judith, chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's get the book of Judith, chapter 1 and verse number 1. Let me show you something during this time period. So Cambyses reigned from 529 BC to 522 BC. When he died, when he got unalive, the next person to come into rulership was Darius the Great or Darius the First, which came into rulership between 522 BC and he reigned all the way to 485 BC. So real quick, let's read that. Judah 1 and 1.
Judah chapter 1 and verse 1. In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar.
Let's say Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city.
So stop. So keep in mind, I told you that Darius the Great. Matter of fact, you got it on the screen, King. Type in Nebuchadnezzar. So this Nebuchadnezzar, it said in the 12th year of his reign, right? This Nebuchadnezzar reigned in Nineveh. So a lot of us might be like, wait a minute. I thought Nebuchadnezzar reigned in Babylon. When you think about this is being wrote in the Greek, and when you think about the landmass of Assyria as a whole, Babylon is in that same region. So now who is this Nebuchadnezzar here? Because according to this reading, Nebuchadnezzar is supposed to be unalive. And remember that, you know what I'm saying, during the rise of Cyrus, Aliyah brought up the town of Ecbatana, which is in Media. I just didn't say nothing earlier. So now, Aliyah, what I want you to do, I want you to type in Nebuchadnezzar III on Wikipedia. Let's show y'all who this Nebuchadnezzar is. It is talking about that reign in Nineveh, the great city, which is really talking about the state of Assyria at this time. He was a rebel. Watch this. Brother typing fast as hell. All righty then. So click on that. So this is the Nebuchadnezzar that Judith is writing about during this time. So watch this. Zoom in so we can see. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. All right. So now read that.
Nebuchadnezzar III, Babylonian cuneiform, meaning Nabu, watch over my heir. Originally spelled Nebuchadnezzar III, and also known by his original name, NB.
Nadentu Bel.
Nadentu Bel.
So his original name was Nadentu Bel, but he changed his name to Nebuchadnezzar III. Watch this. Come on.
Was a rebel king of Babylon in late 522 BC.
In late 522 BC. So now keep this in mind. What year did Cyrus take down the ancient city of Babylon? It was in 539 BC. So this rebel king now 17 years later came up and now he wanted to rebel against the Persian and Medes. And this was during 522 BC. And remember who died and who was getting revolted against in 522 BC. It was Cambyses, right? Cyrus's son. So now keep that in mind. Come on.
who attempted to restore Babylonia as an independent kingdom and to end the rule of the Persian Achaemenid Empire in Mesopotamia.
Come on.
A Babylonian noble as of the Zazuka family and the son of a man by the name of
Mackenzie Ra.
Mackenzie Ra,
Kinsey Ra.
Nintabel,
Yep.
took the regal name Nebuchadnezzar upon his accession to the Babylonian throne and claimed to be the son of Nabonidus,
Which was Belshazzar. He claimed to be the son of Belshazzar. Come on.
Babylonia's last independent king.
Come on.
The earliest record of Nebuchadnezzar III is a document mentioning him as the king of Babylon on October 522 BC.
During the time when Cambyses, Cyrus's son, died. Come on.
Possibly the day of his accession to the throne.
Probably the day, hold on, King. This was the time when he ascended to the throne to rebel and set himself up as the king of Babylon, or king of that whole landmass of Assyria. He tried to rebel and he tried to destroy the Achaemenid Empire. So now watch this.
His revolt had probably originally been aimed at throwing off the rule of the unpopular Persian king, Bardiya. But Bardiya had been overthrown by Darius the First.
Darius the First, or Darius the Great. Come on.
By the time the revolt began, Nebuchadnezzar III quickly established his rule in Babylonia, seizing control of not only Babylon itself, but also the cities of Borsippa, Sippar, and Uruk.
Right. So now stop right there. So now, when you look over to your right on that statue, it says Nebuchadnezzar III, and he's associated with the inscription of Darius the Great's Ben Hupsup inscription. So Darius the Great spoke of this man by the name of Nebuchadnezzar III, because this Nebuchadnezzar III is the Nebuchadnezzar in Judah that is writing about. So now go back to Judah 1:1 and read that again. And this man, Nebuchadnezzar III, before he ascended as the king, he came up through a royal bloodline at that time of his people, which came from Baal, because they were false idol worshipers, right? So when they say he reigned for 12 years, he reigned in a lower class of rulership and not on the empire state. This is why I say he reigned 12 years. And after that 12th year, this is when 522 took place, when he seen the shift and leadership between the Persians and the Medes, with Cambyses dying, and now Darius the Great coming into Persia. He took this as the opportunity for him to set himself up. So now keep going. Read that again.
In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city, in the days of Arphaxad, which reigned over the Medes in Ecbatane.
So now it said, who reigned in the days of Arphaxad. So now let's see who Arphaxad is, because that's not a name, that is a title. So now, King, I want you to go to Britannica and type in PHRAORTES. Hold on, I got it, bro. Hold on, bro, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna share my screen. This brother bugged out. This brother looked at me like, hold on, cuz, hold on. I got you. Hold on, let me share this screen real quick. I'm just gonna share this one slide because I'm gonna give it back to you. So now you can see that.
I can see it, King.
So that name is for OTs. This is who it's talking about. And remember that date, 522 BC. So now watch this. This is the Pharaohs that we wrote, right? So we got one Pharaohs that was in ancient times during 675 to 653 of the Assyrian dynasty, but now we're wanting another one. So now watch this, read that.
Another Pharaohs was a usurper who reigned for a short time in Media during a rebellion against the Achaemenid king Darius the First in 522 BC.
Remember, everything is going back to 522 BC. Cambyses left the scene in 522. Darius the First or Darius the Great got set up in 522, right? You got King Nebuchadnezzar the Third, who also was a rebel king set up in the land of Babylon at this time during 522 BC. Keep that in mind. Come on.
Darius rock inscription at Bensenton relates that a man of the name of Phraates, a Mede, rebelled in Media and spoke to the people thus: I am Kashetra of the family of
Cyaxares.
Xerxes. After a short reign, this king was defeated and executed at Ecbatana,
Ecbatana, come on.
the Median capital. The deception of the usurper Phraates may have led to Herodes' mistake about the name of the earlier king.
And the mistake of the name of the earlier king. So now I want you to go back to Judah 1. So now the people that we're reading about here is Nebuchadnezzar the Third, and we're reading about Phraates, the king of Media, right, of Ecbatane, right? So now we're going to show how these two kings are the one that fit this bubble. So now read that, King. Come on.
God, the book of Judah, chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 2.
Yep.
And built in Ecbatane walls round about of stones hewn 3 cubits broad and 6 cubits long.
Come on.
And made the height of the wall 70 cubits and the breadth of 50 cubits.
Start at verse 4. Jump to verse 4.
Jump to verse 4. It says this: and he made the gates thereof, even gates that were raised to the height of 70 cubits, and the breadth of them was 40 cubits, for the going forth of his mighty armies, and for the setting in array of his footmen.
Come on.
Even in the days of King Nebuchadnezzar, made war with King Arphaxad,
which is Phraates. Come on.
In the great plain, which was in the plain of the borders of Regu.
In the borders of Regu. So now jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Then he marched in battle array with his power against King Arphaxad.
It's talking about Nebuchadnezzar the Third. Come on.
In the 17th year.
In the what year?
In the 17th year.
So 539 minus 522 is what? 539.
Oh, 17 years.
It's 17 years. So now from the fall of Babylon kingdom all the way up until the time of Darius the Great going into power in 522 BC is 17 years. So now this is proving that this history lines up with the Bible. Come on.
And he prevailed in his battle, for he overthrew all the power of Arphaxad and all his horsemen and all his chariots, and became lord of his cities, and came unto Ecbatane,
the same place where Phraates was unalived. Come on.
And took the towers and spoiled the streets thereof, and turned the beauty thereof into shame.
Come on.
And he took also Arphaxad in the mountains of Regu, and smote him through with his darts, and destroyed him utterly that day.
All right, so now let's sit on that, just showing you this same history of Darius the Great or Darius the First. All of this is adding up with him. So now this same Darius was the same one. Watch this. Give me First Ezra 3:1, and then I'm gonna give it back to you, Kim. I'm gonna let you flow. I just want to show here. So when the temple, the work got stopped, the work got authorized to recomplete the temple under Darius the Great. Watch this. First Ezra 3:1.
First Ezra 3:1, and it reads this: Now, when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household.
Oh, read on. Come on.
And unto all the princes of Media in Persia, and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him from India unto Ethiopia, for 127 provinces.
Right. So now jump forward, fast forward through time. When you read First Ezra chapter 3 and First Ezra chapter 4, Zerubbabel was upon the hitters of the great men of Darius the Mede. You know what I'm saying? A part of his security. And Zerubbabel was the one that wrote a riddle, which you read about in First Ezra 4:26 on down, right? Talking about a man may lose his wits over a woman. And through that, he's the one that persuaded Darius the Mede or Darius the Great to give us the green light to start back building the temple. And this was during 521 to 485 BC. So I just want to keep that in mind. The rebuilding of the temple got granted through Darius the Great, and showing you in the Bible where Darius the Great reigned during what time, and also the wars that he went through. He took down two rebel kings, King Nebuchadnezzar III and Phrates of Ecbatane of Media. But that's it, King. Go ahead, do your thing.
Con. That's right. That's right. So so as we go, so as all these things is going on, right? All these things is going on. You got this going on with Nebuchadnezzar. You got the power shift going on with the Persians and the Medes, right? And as it's going on, let's go to this. All right, let's go to this right quick. Let's go to this. Let's see my screen. Get this right quick. All right, so as this is going on, you have to go into understand too. You had other powers that were into play as this was going on. So we're going to read up and we're going to go into Philip, right? Philip the second, right? So let me jump down.
Your screen.
And bring out this Daniel chapter 8 verse
Yeah, it's all
9
you, bro.
first.
Gone flow, it's all you.
Bet that's a bit. All right, so boom. So now the brother had brought this out mightily through the spirit, right? Daniel chapter 8. So I'm gonna go there as well again, but we're gonna keep reading, right? Then we're gonna go to verse number 5 first. Right.
Daniel
It
8
says,
and 5 or Daniel 7 and 5?
nah, 8 and 5.
I'll read it for you.
Kind of 8. You can start at verse 5.
All right, Daniel chapter 8 and verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, an he goat came from the west over the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river. And
So now this going into this notable goat, right? We see that the last time that it talked about a ram. So these are symbolic for nations, but we're gonna get to the point. Keep going, King.
And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
Right, and that ram with the two horns is the Medo-Persian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire. Keep going.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with anger against him, and smote the ram, and broke his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that can deliver the ram out of his hand.
So now we're going into Daniel seeing a vision of the ram, basically, the goat destroying the ram. Okay.
Let me
So
read,
you keep going.
let me read this real quick too. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon his back 4 wings. Of a fowl, the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Con. So now pay attention to this other beast that he just brought out in Daniel chapter 7 and 6, right? It said which had on his back 4 wings, right, of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. So when we go into when you understand this same beast is the same, it's the same goat that is talking about in Daniel chapter 8. Verse 5 on down is the same beast in Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. Mm-hmm. So when you actually go into, you think about the 7 wings and the 4 wings and the 4 heads, you got to understand that the Grecian Empire was breaking up to 4 mighty kingdoms, right? 4 mighty kingdoms. We're going to get into it later, right? But these scriptures actually correlate to one another. Daniel 7 and 6. In Daniel chapter 8, verse 5 on down. So we're going to get straight to the point. Well, Well, we can read verse 8, and then we're gonna get straight to the point of who it's talking about.
All right. Therefore, the he goat grew very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven.
Right? That same four wings, the same four heads, right? In Daniel chapter 7, verse 6, it's the same notable ones. Four notable ones, the same thing. Okay.
Verse 21.
So, huh?
Jump to verse 21.
Verse 21.
And the rough goat is the king of Greece, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Right. So the goat that we was reading about in the earlier part of the passage is going to the Grecians. Right. Now also let's keep in mind to this, right? Let's go back to the statue that we was talking about just earlier, right? In Daniel chapter 2. Right. Let's go back here. And let's jump down to verse number verse number
39.
39, 39. That's what I need. 39.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of bronze, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Right. So another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. This is going into the Grecians, because you see the title, it gives away Medo, Persia, and Greece. The first part of the sentence is going into the Medo-Persian Empire. Right now, you got the latter part of the sentence is going into the Grecian Empire. So, upon the Grecian Empire coming into rulership, you got to go into the history of what happened, right? Because a lot of people, they jump off and say, well, hey, it came with Alexander, right, the Great, right, which he was the first king pursuant to Daniel chapter 8 and 21 that we was reading about, right? But before he came into power, you got to understand how he even came into power. And so we're going to go into how he came into power. So he came into power because he was born into this, right? He was born into this. So you can see that, King.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, let's see. Oh,
Yeah, I can see it.
You can read that, Baba Kasha.
Life. He was born in 356 BCE at Pella in Macedonia, the son of Philip II and Olympias, daughter of King Neoptolemus of Epirus. From age 13 to 16, he was taught by Aristotle, who inspired.
Right. So he's talking about this is talking about Alexander the Great. Right. He was taught by Aristotle, however you want to pronounce his name. Keep going, King.
Who inspired him with an interest in philosophy, medicine, and scientific investigation, but he was later to advance beyond his teacher's narrow precept that non-Greeks should be treated as slaves. Left in charge of Macedonia in 340 during Philip's attack on Byzantium, Alexander defeated the Mede, a Thracian people. 2 years later, he commanded the left wing at the Battle of Chaeronea, in which Philip defeated the allied Greek states and displayed personal courage in breaking the sacred band of Thebes, an elite military corps composed of 150 pairs of lovers. A year later,
So at this point, Alexander's dad, right, is seeking to unite all of Greece. That is what he's doing at this moment. He's seeking to unite all of Greece. That's when you see the Thracian people, right? The battle of right here, right? These different battles and Thebes, these are different lands that's over in that region. This is him trying to combine all these places under one banner to make it all Greece unified. You keep going, King.
Shortly after, a year later, Philip divorced Olympias, and after a quarrel at a feast held to celebrate his father's new marriage, Alexander and his mother fled to Epirus.
All right, start right there. We can start right there. We're gonna start there. We're gonna get straight to the point. Let's get straight to the point. So this is what happened. So now we're gonna jump down to what happened, right? Go to that right there, 18 and 336.
In 336 BC, however, on Philip's assassination, Alexander, acclaimed by the army, succeeded without opposition. He at once executed the prince of Lenicentus, allegedly to be behind Philip's murder, along with all possible rivals and the whole of the faction opposed to him. He then marched south, recovered a wavering Thessaly, which is Thessalonica, and that
Mm-hmm.
assembly of the Greek League of Corinth was appointed generalissimo for the forthcoming invasion of Asia.
Right, hold on, stop. So now you got they was unifying, Greek. They getting all these places. They getting all these places. You got Thessalonica. You got Corinth. Right now, what they about to do is they're getting ready to invade Asia. So now you about to see his father then got unalive. So now at this point, he's on the road to expanding his kingdom. Why they do this, man? This is madness. So anyways, his father got unalive, so now he's in rulership, and now at this point, Alexander is seeking to expand his kingdom, right? So you can I don't know, it messed the whole thing. We was right,
Yeah, I got
the league of
yep.
right here, this area.
The forthcoming invasion of Asia, already planned and initiated by Philip, returning to Macedonia by the way of Delphi, where the Pythian priestess acclaimed him invincible. He advanced into Thrace in spring 335, and after forcing Shipka Pass and crushing the Tribali, crossed the Danube to traverse the Gita, turning west. He then defeated and shattered a coalition of Illyrians who had invaded Macedonia. Meanwhile, a rumor of his death had precipitated a revolt of Theban Democrats. Other Greek states favored Thebes and Athenians, urged on by Demosthenes.
So start right there. So it mentions that he went west, right? And so when you go into the thing, it was saying that how the goat or the ram was pushing eastward, pushing westward, having this different expansion going on. You see, he's pushing out west, right? He's going to Asia. He's trying to advance this thing. So fast forward, he was. Somebody thought that he was unalive, so now you got rebellion going on, right? You got rebellion going on. So then again, his main effort is to what? To unify Greece. We're gonna get straight to the point because now we're gonna get how the Persians get into play with him, how this came into play. So it's beginning of the Persian expedition.
From his ancestor, Alexander had set his mind on the Persian expedition. He had grown up to the idea. Moreover, he needed the wealth of Persia if he was to maintain the army built up by Philip and pay off the 500 talents he owed. The exploits of the 10.
I'm gonna start right there. So, and then when you think about this, it says the wealth of Persia. So all this goes back to what? The wealth of Babylon, because Persia, they took over the Medo-Persian. They put the Medo-Persian Empire took over the Babylonians. And what was one of the pinnacle things or pinnacle wars that the Babylonians won? The battle at Carchemish. This pinnacle battle played an important part in their wealth. So when they was overthrown and they was backdoored by the Medians, then guess what happened? When the Medians and the Persians took over Babylon, now they got that wealth as well. So now at this time, the Persians, there's a wealthy country. They had so many provinces. They had this vast empire, right? So now he's eyeing this, right? But you keep going.
All right, real quick before you keep going, get the book of Daniel 11:1 real quick.
Con.
Let's show why did he need the riches of the Persians? Come on. Daniel chapter 11, verse 1.
Daniel 11:1. Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. Now I will show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all.
Cyrus, Cambyses, Darius the Great, and the 4th will be Artaxerxes. He was the one richer than them all. Come on.
And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia.
Just like what the brother just brought out. Through his riches, he was going to provoke the realm of Greece to come and fight against Persia, which was Alexander the Freak. Come on, read the next one quick.
And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will.
All right, that's it on that. Cause I'll let you go back to that once you do your thing.
Con, 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 con. But that's right though, right? So let's go back to this, right? Let's go back to this. It says this, for the sake of time, it says the exploits the exploits of 10,000 Greek soldiers of fortune and the Aegilis of Sparta in successfully campaigning in Persian territory had revealed the vulnerability of the Persian Empire, which of good cavalry force Alexander could expect to defeat any Persian army. In spring 334 BC, he crossed the Dardanelles, leaving Antipater, who had already faithfully served his father and his deputy in Europe, with over 13,000 men. He himself commanded about 30,000 foot and over 5,000 cavalry, of whom nearly 14,000 were Macedonians, and about seven. And if for those that don't know, Macedonians, they had a good reputation of being mighty warriors. The Macedonians,
Mm-hmm.
they had a reputation of being mighty warriors. And about 7,000 allies sent by the Greek League, this army was to prove remarkable for its balanced combination of arms. Much work fell on the light-armed Cretan and the Macedonian archers, Thracians, and the Agrian javelin men, but it pitched in battle. The striking force was the cavalry and the core of the army. Should the issue still remain decided after the cavalry charge, was the infantry phalanx, right? And that's just basically like an infantry move. It says 9,000 strong, armed with 13 spears and shields, 13-foot spears and shields, and the 3,000 men of royal battalions and hypers, right? So it's just going into his army. He had a vast army. So this also ties back into what the precept the brother just brought up says, Daniel 11:3. And a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. In order for one to do such thing, right, he have to come and he have to have a vast army. So Nebuchadnezzar, I mean not Nebuchadnezzar, but Alexander had a vast army. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken. So we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there before we jump ahead of ourselves, right? So when you go and you jump down, let's jump down. So now we gonna mention right here. It says you can read this right here. Visiting Ilium Troy. Ooh,
After visiting Illumium, a romantic jester inspired by Homer, he confronted his first Persian army, led by three satraps, at the Granicus River near the Sea of Marmara, May/June 334. The Persians planned to tempt Alexander across the river and unalive him in the melee, almost succeeded. But the Persian line broke and the Alexander's victory was complete. Darius' Greeks mercenaries were largely massacred, but 2,000 survivors were sent back to Macedonia in chains.
See that? So check this out, right? It said, and this is where you go into the downfall of the Persians, right? It says Darius' Greek mercenaries were largely massacred, right? So these were Greek mercenaries they had. It says, but 2,000 survivors were sent back to Macedonia in chains. So he didn't enslave these people. He didn't enslave the Persians. All right, you keep going on that.
This victory exposed Western Asia Minor to the Macedonians, and most cities hastened to open their gates. The tyrants were expelled, and in contrast to Macedonian policy in Greece, democracies were installed. Alexander thus underlined his pale Hellenic policy already symbolized in the sending of 300 panoplies, sets of armor taken at the Granicus as an offering dedicated to Athens. And
All right, so stop right there. So here you see this war that they lost, right? As the trap, this was the war that lost the war. Now this is not the war because they had another war, a pinnacle war, the Battle of Guagamela.
about the
What
Battle
you
of
try,
Arbela,
huh?
the Battle of Arbela.
Arbella, right? So let's jump down to this right here. It says the Asia Minor in the Battle of Isis. So this is another battle that they got into. So they was constantly going to battle with the Persians. It didn't just win. They just didn't win the war with the Persians right at once. They was constantly going to battle, right?
Hey, I was gonna say we can read it if you want to. We can finish up this Thursday if you want to for the sake of time. Cause I don't want you to rush.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? We can do this again Thursday because we still got Thursday, and then Saturday, which will set us up. Cause I want you to be able to go through all these because what you're going through right now is Darius the third. Yeah, so we didn't beat them across the head now. So we most high willing, we finished this out Thursday. We didn't get y'all a lot of information, and I want to make sure y'all fully understand all this history if you don't know. So, hey, man, I pray this was beneficial because we didn't cross our boarding time. You know what I'm saying? Because messing with me and him, we'll be on here at 1 o'clock in the morning. But most high willing, hey, y'all were edified. Y'all enjoyed it. Most high willing, we got plenty more things in store that we're going to bring out because this is the truth being revealed on Tuesday, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, stay tuned. Tap in Thursday. We might try to do this. We might do it a little earlier for the sake of time. So just stay tuned, family. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. And most high willing, hey, the service is going to be bringing more service to the people. Shalom.
Shalom.